Let's get this out of the way immediately. You can't. At least, not in any normal sense. Nothing with mass can reach the speed of light. It would take infinite energy. That's physics being stubbornly consistent. But what if, for the sake of curiosity, we imagine a universe where you could? What happens if you pull the trigger and that tiny metal slug leaps out at 299,792,458 meters per second? First off, forget everything you know about bullets. They're just lumps of metal that work because of the pressure of burning gunpowder pushing them through a barrel. The barrel itself would be meaningless here. At the speed of light, even the concept of acceleration is obliterated. It would go from stationary to light speed instantly. That would destroy the gun, obviously. It wouldn't even be an explosion. It would be obliteration at a level that makes TNT look like birthday candles. The gun would vaporize in a burst of energy. Why? Because to impart that much kinetic energy to the bullet, you'd be channeling so much power that you might as well be detonating a small nuke in your hand. Let's do some napkin physics. The kinetic energy of even a small mass moving at near light speed is vast. Using relativistic equations, the energy approaches infinity as you hit light speed. Even a gram of matter moving at that speed would release energy comparable to dozens of megatons of TNT. That's not breaking your wrist levels of recoil, it's, there's a new crater where your city used to be levels. But let's say you somehow survived firing it. Maybe you're a sci-fi wizard who invented a perfect recoil-absorbing system. The bullet leaves the barrel at light speed. What does that mean for the target? At these speeds, it doesn't hit the target. It annihilates it. The bullet's mass energy, moving at that speed, effectively behaves like a concentrated blast of energy. When it hits something, it wouldn't drill a neat hole. It would create a localized apocalypse. The air in front of it would ionize, creating a blinding, lethal radiation burst. The target wouldn't even have time to get hit in the way we think of bullets hitting things. The atoms would be stripped apart in an instant, releasing yet more energy in the process. Effectively, you're not firing a bullet anymore. You're releasing a directed energy weapon that outclasses any laser. You've turned your handgun into a small-scale gamma-ray burst generator, a catastrophic weapon that can vaporize buildings in a straight line. What about the atmosphere? Great question. At light speed, the bullet's interaction with the air isn't a friction problem. It's an extinction-level event. It would instantly ionize all the air in its path, creating a plasma tunnel. Think of the world's most intense lightning bolt, but continuous and perfectly straight. The air wouldn't just burn, it would explode outward from the path of the bullet. A shock wave would follow, flattening everything for kilometers around. The sonic boom? Forget it. This isn't a sonic boom. It's a release of energy so abrupt that it would make even a nuclear blast wave look slow and polite. And then there's the question of time. For a photon, the thing that actually travels at light speed, there is no experience of time. The bullet, if it could somehow have a consciousness, would see the entire universe compress into a single instant along its path. That's weirdly philosophical, but it highlights the fact that the concept of a bullet moving at light speed is broken at a fundamental level. The physics doesn't allow it to be a projectile anymore. It becomes pure energy. Let's talk about the environmental consequences. If you fired such a bullet horizontally on Earth, it wouldn't stop at your enemy's chest. It would keep going, through walls, through mountains, through the crust. It would pierce the planet like a needle through fabric, releasing unimaginable energy the whole way. You'd trigger earthquakes. You might literally blow open a tunnel from one side of the planet to the other, except the tunnel would be filled with plasma, vaporized rock, and death. If it fired into space, congratulations. You've launched a tiny doomsday beam that could travel unimpeded until it hits something light years away. It would cross the solar system in minutes. If it struck another planet, the result would be catastrophic for that planet as well. And there's the final irony. The whole point of a bullet is to be a controllable, directed way to deliver lethal force to a target. But at light speed, it's not controllable, it's not surgical. It's the universe laughing in your face for trying to weaponize fundamental constants. You don't get a super gun, you get an extinction event. So next time you see some sci-fi where a gun fires bullets at light speed, remember, there's no sniper scenario where the hero takes out a single enemy with a clean shot. There's only an absurdly overpowered energy release that wipes out everything in its path, collapses structures, triggers seismic waves, and probably blinds everyone nearby with lethal radiation. It's not a better bullet, it's an unstoppable disaster. That's why physics says, no, don't even try. Because even if you could fire a bullet at light speed, you wouldn't be aiming at an enemy, you'd be aiming at the entire world.